fitness expert, Julia McHale from Heavenly Fitness, to get us motivated on a Monday. Good morning, Julia. Thank you for
Hi,
joining
Kat.
me.
You're welcome.
So good to have you this morning. Now, I've been
Good to be
thinking
here.
about this, moving and keeping walking, and I literally had a conversation with someone yesterday because we'd been discussing our elderly granddad, it was my cousin, and
Mhm.
how he's in a rest home at the moment, and how they all have different levels of capability. And I was saying to him, look, my prayer is that God take me in my sleep. Like, I want to be happily walking on 2 feet right up until I'm 100 and then fall asleep one day and wake up in heaven. And my cousin was like, yes, that's the goal, right? And so, one of the ways that we can not guarantee it, but we can help ourselves be functional for further along the track is by keeping fit and healthy. And I
Yeah.
believe you want to talk about what it's like to be fit in middle age as well. So, what are your thoughts on this concept?
Gosh, that's such a great opening question. I think that midlife strength is one of the gifts that we can give ourselves that can bring us real joy, not just from how it feels to be fit and strong in your 50s, but actually the journey of resilience, of creating something which is actually really hard, but seeing the benefits from it and the long-term commitment to it. You know that we're so in this instant, everything's got to be now, but actually building strength in your body and getting yourself well, Kat.
Yeah, it's all about
That's where it's
playing the
about.
long game, right? Like a lot of people want
100%.
sort of an instant fix so that they feel comfortable come January when they're, on their summer holiday trip on the
Mm,
beach. But
yeah.
actually, it's about a lifestyle shift so that you can do the good things that God has prepared for you to do. And I guess that's being a good steward of your body, right?
Falling in love with yourself and falling in love with what God's given you. Because, when we spoke about this and we talked about doing it about stewardship, and I think we often think about stewardship as financial, as environmental, rather than actually stewardship over our bodies.
Mm.
Because we're only here temporarily, right? And so we only have temporarily this body that has been God given and God provided for us. And so looking after that is just as important as looking after our financial resources.
And what do you think are some of the key tips as people look to middle age or perhaps are in middle age? What do you think are some of the fundamental things to get in the habit of doing?
Get moving. Don't go out in your car. Get outside, even though to those small incidental movements, getting up and down stairs. There's lots of things that you can do and you can follow. There's lots of workouts online. But I think finding a community that you can work out in when you're over 50 is fantastic. I've got a group that work with me, a very large group. We meet down at the local church hall. They're all over 50. They work out together and they socialize afterwards. That social connection is very important, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that Hollywood has painted a picture of aging as not
Mm.
something to be comfortable with. And there are expectations on the way you should look. Particularly, I feel women feel it stronger than men, but for all ages, there's this negativity towards getting older.
Mhm.
And the Bible's actually very countercultural when it talks about grey hairs being like a crown of glory. So, what do you think are some ways that we
Mm.
can encourage ourselves to actually embrace the fact that we're getting older and we're getting closer to our Lord?
So actually, it's interesting you say that because the more muscle we have on board, the better our skin, the better we look, and the better we feel as well. So doing strength training isn't just about building pretty muscles, it's about looking good. And I'm not wanting to buy into the social media culture that's going on about being skinny and beautiful. It's about being strong and well and being clothed in strength and dignity, right? That's what it's about. And looking forward to the days ahead, not being skinny and small diet culture.
Yeah. And I mean, health and wellness is about how you feel, right? Having that energy and that strength and vitality. And
Mm.
a lot of that comes from what you put into your body, right? So, what are some of your key tips when it comes to nourishing yourself?
So the protein requirement, so there's different macros, we've got the fat, carbohydrates, and protein, so that we eat every day. Our protein requirement usually doubles over the age of 70, just because we lose muscle as we age, and that's called something called sarcopenia, and that drops by about 1% every year. If we're not moving around, that can increase to 3% every year. So we have to replenish our bodies with food and nourishment and protein and getting the right protein amount can do that. So I encourage my senior clients to get about 2 grams of dietary protein per kilo of their body weight a day. So that's a lot greater than what the daily requirement is.
And so, what would that look like? Let's say you're someone who's pretty new to all this information, because there are people out there
Yes.
that are like, what do you mean proteins, carbohydrates? I just have my toast in the morning or my cereal, and then I get up and I go for a walk. I'm doing all right. Like,
Yeah.
what would it look like if you were to adjust that just a little bit to include more protein in your breakfast, for example, and then
Yeah.
also a bit more strength activity? What would that look like?
Okay. So for breakfast, we'll stick with breakfast, shall we? So let's just say you have a couple eggs on toast. Slip in some cottage cheese underneath that. So a nice healthy covering that, lots of salt and pepper to give it a bit of taste too, or increase it to your 3 eggs for your breakfast. Another thing you can do is get out, you can walk. Walk for half an hour every day is life-changing. Get up and down every hour. So you can add in 10 squats every hour, just sit to stands. You could get yourself some little hand weights or those little strap weights that you can strap around your hands and do your daily activities with those on. That's some really simple things that you can do around just to put small little changes into your day.
Yeah, and it's amazing how some little changes and some positive decisions each day accumulate and end up
Yeah.
helping you immensely over time. Well, thank you so
Mm,
much, Julia, for joining me this morning. Really appreciate the chat. And if anyone would like to reach out, access your blog, or get more tips, where can people go?
yes. They can go to heavenlyfitness.nz.
Julia McHale joining me from Heavenly Fitness. Thank you so much. And again, if you would like some tips or tricks to help with your wellness journey, head to heavenlyfitness.nz.
Amazing. I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn your notifications on so you don't miss the next video.
We'll see you in the next one.